everybody, it's Holly and welcome back to Smile by Holly. Thanks for joining me. So happy new year. We're into a brand new year. Oh my gosh, love it, love it, love it. Good things are going to happen this year. I can just feel it. So in the month of January, I am going to be focusing my projects on projects that kind of center around cut-aparts. Now, what are cut-aparts? Cut-aparts are like what you see here on the front of the cover. They're all these little pieces that you get when you buy paper packs, and they come in all different sizes. There are some that are 4x4, which is what this is, and we'll be using these today. There's some that are 3x4, and then there's some that are 4x6. So each week we'll be making something where you can take advantage of the different sizes of cut-aparts. And today we are going to be using the 4x4 cut-aparts. Also this month I'm going to be using a paper pack called Winterland, and it's by Echo Paper Company, and it has like really pretty navies and pinks, and I just love this paper pack. So that's what we're going to be making, or that's what we're going to be using. This is what we're going to be making. This is a cute little box and super simple. It's just an easy way to use those cut-aparts to make a set of cards and envelopes to give somebody. What a darling gift to have coordinating cards and envelopes that fit in a cute little box, right? So fun. So anyway, that's what we're going to be making. It is simple. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with our base. The base for these 4x4 cut-aparts is 8.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, you want it just slightly bigger than the cut-apart so it creates a nice border. So 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then you're just going to fold it in half. And this will create just the perfect little border around our 4x4 cut-aparts. Okay, so I've gone ahead. I have found that you can fit 4 of these 4x4 cards and 4 envelopes just nicely into this little box without it being too tight. So we're going to make 4, and these are so simple, guys. I'm not even going to really take the time to embellish. I'm just going to show you kind of the concept and then leave that up to you. So let's go ahead. Once again, this size card leaves just a nice border around our 4x4 cutouts. I mean, super cute, right? Let's go ahead. This paper pack I am so in love with. Isn't that cute? Baby, it's cold outside. And really, for a set of cards, this is so simple. And if you know anything about my channel, I'm all about simple. I like simple, I like easy, I like not too much stress making projects. Okay, so I've just taken coordinated colored cardstock, and look how fun that is for a set of cards. Now take your embellishments, go ahead and put either some glitter or some sequins or some popped up embellishments to take your cards over the top. But just real quick, I'm going to show you how to make a nice size envelope for these. Now, how many of you have ever used an envelope punch board? I live by this. I live by it. I love it. It's amazing. So if you don't have one, this is by We Are Memory Makers, and I use mine all the time. So consider investing in one. They're not that much. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. But let me just show you how easy this is to make envelopes. So for our 4x4 cards, okay, you will want a piece of paper that is 6 7/8 by 6 7/8. Okay, and let me kind of walk you through the process of making an envelope. So you want to score your card and punch your card at 3.5. So I'm going to line this up at 3.5. And as soon as you get it lined up, you punch. Okay, let me move that off. And then you just take your score tool and you just go up and down this line right here. Simple, right? Flip your paper. Now you're not going to line it up at 3.5 again. You're going to line it up at this score line. So you take this score line and you line it up with this point. Okay, so after you do the very first measurement, you don't need to measure anymore. Okay, some people get confused because they try to line this up to 3.5 again, but no, you line it up the score line to this line. Okay, punch. Go ahead and score. Flip your paper. Once again, you're lining it up to this little line right here. Punch and score. Flip, line it up, punch and score. Okay, that is going to make the perfect size envelope. I'm going to hurry and do one more real quick and then we will put these together. So it's only the first one that you need to measure, and that's at 3.5. On the punch board, it has all the different measurements. So depending on what size card you have, you can pretty much make any size. That's what is so totally cool about that. Okay, so for our envelopes, you just go ahead and fold. I like to make my envelopes out of printer paper, unless it's like really thin scrapbook paper, because if your envelopes are too thick, it makes it hard to fold. So, you know, it kind of just depends. If I have thinner paper, then I'll go ahead and use like pattern paper. Otherwise, I like to just use printer paper. Okay, let's go ahead and we're just going to add a little bit of glue on here. And fold our envelope up. And let me just bring in one of my cards. Isn't that just so perfect for these? And there you have your envelopes. Okay, so for your box, and what I have found is helpful is if I make a template to kind of show you, so as you're cutting it, not only do you have the measurements and you can watch me cut, but you kind of have something to go by. So I'll set that aside for just a minute. The base for your box is going to be 6.5 by 10.5. Okay, and we're going to score both sides. So the 6.5 and the 10.5 side, both exactly the same. It's at half, 1, 5.5, and 6. Okay, so let's bring in our scoreboard. And once again, both sides are going to be the same. We're going to score it at half. This is thicker paper, so I'm going over it a couple times. At 1, at 5.5, and at 6. Okay, flip it the other side. And once again, exactly the same. We want to score it at half. Oops. Half. At 1. At 5.5. And at 6. Okay. Now, can you see, I think you can see the score lines in here. Let me bring this in. So what we are going to do is, let's open this up. We are going to cut out these two little squares on both sides. Okay, so we're just going to go step by step together. So let's start out and cut out these two end squares. Okay. And maybe you've made a lot of boxes, but if you haven't, we'll just go nice and slow So you want to cut out those 2 end squares. So that's what it looks like right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and miter. We're going to just take a little tiny snippet off right there and a little tiny snippet off right there. Okay, that's called giving your paper a haircut or mitering. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut up this slit right here. Cut up that slit, and we're just going to take off one of the squares. Okay, so we cut all the way up, okay, to that score line right there, and then we're just going to take off one of the squares. So this is where we are right now. Okay, now we are going to take off these 2 boxes. Okay, I think what will make it a little bit easier though, let's first cut up these 2 score lines here. So cut up these 2 score lines. It'll make it easier for us to cut those boxes up. So cut up those 2 score lines. Now I think you'll be able to get your scissors in there a little bit easier to cut those boxes off. I'm just going to fold it so I can get my scissors in there. And we're going to cut off these 2 rectangles, okay? Trying to get my scissors in there. Okay, so just up that line. Boom. Okay, so this is what we're looking like, okay? Now let's go ahead and cut this little square off. See, this leaves it so there's just a little tiny flap, okay? So cut off that little square. Once again, we're just going nice and slow. Now, what helps is if you round these corners. So I'm going to take, where is it? My corner rounder, and going to round these corners. And I have found that getting in here, it's just easier to round it with my scissors. I'm also going to round these little flaps right here. You don't need to, but I have found that it makes it a little bit easier to fold in. So I'm just rounding my corners. And you can round these corners too, if you like. You don't need to. Okay, so as you can see, there is our box. Do you see that? Now let's go ahead and fold and burnish, and I'll show you how we just fold this all together. I've got thicker paper. Okay, so here is our box. Now this little flap right here, we are going to fold over and put glue right here. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that over, and I think I'll just use adhesive here. And then all you want to do is fold this over. Actually, we'll fold this top part over and line it up with that. And that makes your box. Okay, I'm just going to kind of fold it down this way too. See how that makes just the perfect little box? What I like to do also is just take a little chomp out of the top. That will help, so when you go to pull your things out, it's just easier to grab. So let's go ahead and fold the bottom up. So there is our box. Now let's just do some fun decorating. I thought that was cute. Let it snow. And then I think maybe we'll add some snowflakes. And that iridescent bow is cute. You know me, on at least one of my projects, I've got to have a bow. Oh yeah, that is cute. That actually goes with these iridescent snowflakes. Oh, that's really cute. Okay, let's bring our cards in and pop them in here. Yeah, I really think by having that notch right there, it helps to be able to not only grab the cards, but get the cards in. So there are our cute little boxes that have those fun 4x4 cards inside. Isn't that just a darling little gift to give a friend? Anyway, I'm just so over the top with this idea. So thank you so much for joining me. It was wonderful to have you along. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. I would also love to have you subscribe to my channel. So have a fun crafting day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, everybody.